All right. Hey guys. Yeah, this is continuing Warren rebuilding himself. I know 2 videos in 1 week. That's maybe much. But this is all about me. And you can follow along. Again, Edmonton Marathon weekend. I did 10K, did not turn out well. My life for the last, let's say 3 years has not been great. My training has not been great. I've struggled. I'm gonna say that. And so this is all about me. I'm a mess. I'm just saying that. Curse my heels. Which is sudden. It's sudden, right? I never had that problem before. I've had sore backs before, but never heels. And apparently they're connected, possibly. I bought like 4 pairs of shoes so far this year. First pair, Ons. I love Ons. Ons are actually, I'm going to grab them. Just hold on. I'll talk for a second. Grab some shoes. Okay, so Ons. I love Ons. I've since we first started getting at the running room, they were my shoe. I went from Brooks to Ons, Ons all in. I bought into everything they had. And up until say June, I was fine. I was doing great. I bought a pair of these in June. I can say it's June. Anyhow, On Cloud. These are the On Cloud um, Monster 2s. And Monsters, when we first started getting them at the store at the running room, they were like our Hokas almost. They used to have 2 layers of the pods. These pods, the idea of the pods when you step on them, they collapse, so it's like you're landing on a cloud. These were fine for a while. I like them. They're almost like a neutral, they are a neutral shoe. I don't know what the drop is. I think it's still about 6 millimeters. The drop, of course, is the inside of the shoe from the back to the front. Some people call it ramp. Some people call it offset. I like offset actually. So if you're looking for an explanation what the offset is, you can't tell by looking at the shoe. You have to see you have to try the shoe on. The idea is the heel higher than the toe. Some ultras, there's zero drop. There's no difference between the heel and the toe, but they are selling one pair of shoe. I can't remember the brand or model of it, but it's now a 6 millimeter drop. I don't know why they did that. But anyhow, this is a very stiff shoe. They also have the speed plate in it of some sort. And Hellion is the cushioning. But they worked for me. I love them. I remember winters running in these things, and I'm not a big fan of, well, I do have a pair of winter shoes, but I don't like putting anything on the bottoms like pins of any kind, screws. I just want a shoe. I don't want to have to worry about putting stuff on. But I was running up hills with these, well, a different on cloud shoe, and I was going up hills, no problem. I think it might be the compression on the ice when you collapse the pods, but they were great. But at one point, I felt like I didn't feel any cushioning in these shoes, which is weird. It might have just been a sensation I have. The cushioning might be there. And it also felt the feet were starting to get warm after about, say, 5K. I could feel the heat of some sort. So, and it's like I was feeling the ground. So I decided, okay, we're going to try something else just in case it's the shoe. So apparently I've got too much money. So I went to these. Again, an on product, which I love. Again, a little more of an offset, I think, I would say. But these are on cloud surfers. On Cloud Surfer 2. Actually, this is the Max. This is the On Cloud Surfer 2, I think. I might have that backwards. I'll correct it in the notes. But again, I thought more cushioning, bigger pods. And this was one is really, really weird, almost from the get-go. About 3K in, I would say up to about 4 or 5K. My heels were in excruciating pain. It was like I was getting a blister on both heels. Quick story. I remember I did Ironman in 2010 in a pair of K-Swiss shoes. I can't remember the model, but they were like a sock with on the bottom, and there's nothing in the arch. And maybe there wasn't the right shoe for an Ironman because halfway through, both my soles blistered like crazy, and of course during the run, the blisters both popped. My socks were stuck to my feet, and that's what that felt like on my heel when I wore these shoes. Actually, a funny story about that. I had to sleep in my socks the next morning. I took a shower, and everybody that shared the house with me heard me screaming as I took my socks off. Anyhow, so yeah, excruciating pain. I don't know what that was. And I guess maybe it's just a transition from these to these and more of a pressure on the heel. I tried everything. I tried to really concentrate on a mid-foot strike. I actually resorted to trying to do toe strikes, which didn't help either because I understand why some people run on their toes. That's there's a reason. Actually, it's where dancers and boxers, when you see them run, usually toe, but there's other people that land on their toes as well. Or else they're doing hills, they're doing toes. But I'm not a I'm a heel striker. I've seen pictures of myself running. I'm a heel striker. The trick with heel striking, don't overstride. If it lands under your feet, underneath your center of gravity, fine. But I thought maybe I really concentrated on midfoot strike, it would get the heel feeling better. It did not. It did not, no matter what I did. Anyway, so this weekend, past weekend, I did the Edmonton half. I was fine up until about 8K. And I never even noticed my heel up until 8K. The first 8K was amazing. I went specifically slower, effortlessly. I do the long, not long, slow distance, long, effortless distance. I like LED rather than LD or LSD, long, slow distance. I think effortless makes more sense saying that because slow, effortless are two different things, right? A lot of people think when they run slow, that's slow. And they'll run with people. I've seen people run with one of our instructors, and she insisted everybody run behind her at her pace. Well, slow for different people is going to be different. So I think effortless it should be you feel like you'd run forever. Anyhow, going to these. This is actually the model I had before I went to these. It's been updated a bit. It's called the Cloud on Cloud Stratus. And I bought them. If you know who Rich Roll is, I bought them because he endorsed them. He said I had a little stability. They don't. They're still in neutral shoe. And thanks to one of my physios, Danielle or Stephanie Dumont, I've gone completely neutral. I've gone from a motion control shoe called the Mondo Control that was made by Mizuno to neutral shoes. What is that about, right? Again, I bought into what Stephanie told me, and a lot of other people say. There was a controversy years and years ago. There is a magazine called The Runner's World. They did an article, and the question of the article was the premise was motion control and stability issues causing more injuries, and they fixed. It's like almost the day after that article came out, the running room wall changed. Motion control shoes shrunk to like maybe two shoes, and stability maybe a little bit more or about the same maybe, but a lot more neutral shoes. And even one shoe, I'm going to say it's the Asics Nimbus. Nimbus has a little bit of stability in it, but we sell it as a neutral shoe, which is I get it, but that's when I think that change happened. If you read various running magazines like Canadian Running or Runner's World, some will call the Nimbus a stability shoe, some will call it a neutral shoe. So yeah, actually, ASICS has changed a lot. They've gone to guiding your feet rather than the mid-foot posting to force your feet. So I bought into that. I bought actually Brooks is the one that sold me on that. Is they have a thing called they called it they designed the shoot so you're is designed to let your feet do what they're supposed to do and not put undue pressure on your knees. They just guide your feet rather than force your feet. I love that, and I think Ons has got that. Hoka's maybe. I think I can't say for sure. I think New Balance and Mizuno might still have the mid post support. But even like Brooks, their main motion control shoe is the Brooks Monster or the Brooks Aerial if you're female, and it's gone. Guide, guide your feet. Don't force your feet. Anyhow, so I went to these things, and again we got the pods, which I love. Again, almost 2 rows, which is nice. So lots of cushioning. Felt great. I was running these leading up to the 10K this past weekend, and they felt all right. Except I would say at some point I always started to feel the heel. And then Sunday, again, the story is I sort of fell apart about 8K in. If you know Edmonton and you know where 109th Street is, just before that, I was down to the point of running and walking for sure. I wasn't doing 10:01s. I was doing maybe a minute and 30 seconds and a minute and 30 seconds until I saw the finish line and then I just went. It's funny, the pictures from the race, there's one where you can see I'm walking. You can see where the strain is showing on my face. But the other ones, especially the finish line, this is the first time I've had an Edmonton picture. That Victoria's pictures are always great. Victoria pictures in the rain is awesome. If you want to run Victoria, and I'm not going to guarantee it's going to rain, but every time I run Victoria, it's rained. And the rain makes the finish line pictures look good. But yeah, I look, maybe it's a mustache, who knows? But anyhow, so I've got to these, and yeah, the heel hurt. As somebody posted, I've asked a question on Edmonton Community Running Community on Facebook, the group. Anybody else experience this? Since one of the people came back and said, it's not your heels, it's your back. And yes, I do have a sort of problems with my lower back, and it's off and on throughout, like I would say, year. Okay, I should have addressed it sooner, Stephanie, because yeah, it becomes chronic. But there's a lot of stuff going on here and here. So I've started using the foam roller. I've started doing some exercises. I do have an appointment to see a massage therapist to start working on my lower back. Maybe do I try turn into a pin cushion and try acupuncture? I'm not sure about acupuncture. I had one friend, physiotherapist. I was having problems with the back of my hamstring, which maybe be the reason for the sore back. Maybe it's all connected, right? The heel bone's connected to the thigh bone, right? Um, but she did. I've had acupuncture before and it's fine. It works for a little while, but then you have to go do it again. You want a permanent solution. You want something you have to do over and over again, which is, the chiropractor that tells you to see you every week. Physios want to get you out the door, and they don't want to ever see you again. So I don't know. I may get to that point, but I'll try massage therapy. There's a guy in St. Albert I've been looking for that I used to go to. I used to go to Rebecca Jones. Some of you may know her. She's moved to California, and apparently my wife says I can't fly to Redondo Beach to get that work done. So I got to do it here. But there used to be a guy here in St. Albert whose name I cannot remember, but he used to do Olympics, and he's famous for base camp in Everest. So I want to see him or one of his associates to see if I can figure that out. But again, I'm doing exercises. I've There's a few people I like. I'm going to talk about just one. His name is in my notes here somewhere. Um, Maybe not. I don't. Okay, oh yeah, guy named Kelly Starrett. Um, he's got lots of videos on YouTube, the Ready State, which are really good. His look extreme, but I will get that. I mean, things like couch stretch, banded hip distraction, and 90-90 hip rotation. I'm going to get to that probably, well, this week. But I've also got a list from ChatGPT as well. Who I love ChatGPT for what you do. I don't know if you guys have ever tried it, but yeah, I know there's some controversy, but I'm not going to university. I'm not having them write an essay for me. But the advice that pops up on there is just it's really good. I've spent hours just asking questions, getting results, and getting suggestions for training routines, for exercises, whatever. Yesterday was about Australian movies and music, but that was a different story. And yeah, just glute bridges, right? I mean, we know how to do those. I've been getting into planks a little bit more. There's some interesting things about planks. I don't know if I can show it here on this, where this way this angle is going, but yeah, planks are good. You have to build up to them, right? Don't jump into doing planks for like 2 minutes at a time. I just watched the video on YouTube, and starts with 15 seconds and work your way up. But again, it's like this article I read by Peter Esterhazy, who's I think from Calgary, a personal trainer, and he says it's running, right? You run a certain distance until it doesn't hurt anymore. Then you add distance, and then you do that distance until it doesn't hurt anymore. I think for things like planks and almost anything, that's a good advice for us endurance people or endurance junkies. Don't just jump in and do an ultra marathon without building up to it, right? Um, but yeah, oh, I got kudos for something. Oh, I played basketball with my daughter, so I put it on. Of course, on Strava, you put everything you do on Strava, including this. Um, Strava. Anyhow, yeah, and I just watched the video. It's one thing about YouTube is amazing too, is or if you can get into a clinic or something that'll actually show you how to do these exercises. I've actually got a collection I may put up again. I got from another physiotherapist in St. Albert. Because you want to watch and see, because you can write on here, yeah, do a bird dog, right? Well, we've all sort of seen the bird dogs, but really not. And maybe I'll try. Oh, TB just went off. Good for me. I don't know why that happened. Maybe it's offended by what I'm doing. Anyhow, bird dog. We all know all fours, right? And bird dog is this. But there's a full routine to it. There's a full it's like running and not doing a full the ABCD thing, right? There's a reason we do the high knees and the butt kicks, which are actually butt kicks, and C's, and the I call it rolling a keg underneath a bench. Some people call it other things. But the thing with bird dog is, yes, you do this, but that what's just as important is bring it down to your knee and do one side, and side, and side. And man, that feels good. Because if you're just doing this and then this and then this and then this, you don't get the full range of motion. So you got to do out and back and out and back. And same thing with the other side. The hardest one to do, I found, dead bug, right? We've all heard the term dead bugs. Maybe some of you guys have it down right pat. I did not understand dead bug for forever. And then I watched the video on YouTube. And yeah, now I know. It's I find it the hardest one that you have to concentrate. Just saying, lie on your back like a dead bug, right? Knees up, hands up, right? And then that leg there, that leg there. I don't know why I found that hard, but man, does it feel good in your back. Even just a simple pelvic tilt is just lying on your back and having your back flattened against the ground. Again, you won't be able to see this, but I'm going to do it because it feels good. But yeah, just back, knees bent, flatten your back. Touch your cred touch, belly button, cred touch the ground. And yeah, it feels good. It feels so good to do. And I've got a lot of stuff I got to work on as we progress through these. I'm going to say until January. I'm just going to do this every day. I got no races planned until next year. Next year is going to be complex because, yeah, I am 67 almost. 134 days from 67, something like that. And they just announced Seaweeds is coming back to Vancouver, the Seaweeds have, on August 8th, which is the weekend of the St. Albert Triathlon, right? And August, Edmonton Marathon weekend. And Seaweeds is going to be expensive. $325. Hopefully my wife doesn't watch this, but $325 for an entry fee. That is Canadian. I'm going to say it's probably got tax on it, PSD on it. But at Seaweeds, if you've never done that race, I'd say it's worth the $325 to do it once. And also you have to hope you get picked, right? It's a draw. It's not. They did lotteries. I don't know what the difference was. And I think at first time they did just you had to get in first in, first out. And I think we crashed a number of telephone lines. But yeah, Seaweeds, it's an experience. But I've always wanted to do the Sun Run in Vancouver. I never did it this year. And again, 45,000 people, 10K, and it's apparently a really fun run. At BMO in Vancouver is like the week right after, I think. And running in Vancouver, excuse me, is really amazing too. Why am I burping? Anyhow, that's that. Anyhow, the other thing I'm doing a lot of is my friendly neighborhood foam roller. Again, I've had this forever. I got a gift card for the running room. I bought this there. I haven't seen it there. You've seen the blue ones, right? The foam. This is like this is actually really hard. It doesn't give a lot. And there's a video again. It's a Lululemon video. It's got a famous snowboarder whose name I can't remember right now, but it's just simple 5 minutes, you're done. And there's one thing I'm trying to learn a little bit about because it's my lower back that's a problem, not the upper back. But I've been told, of course, as we all have, don't foam roll soft tissue. Well, my lower back is soft tissue, but there's a spine there, right? And that's what you're basically doing. There's a bunch of things to talk about when you're using a foam roller. You're breaking up fascia, right? It's like my friend Gina Gears says it's if you look at a steak and you see that white stuff in the steak, that's fascia. What we're trying to do is loosen that up to make us move a little bit better when we run or anything else, I guess. And it's good. It makes you a faster, more efficient runner. Your stride will be better, which is important. I'm going to talk about that probably next video because I've just watched something else. But yeah, I'm just doing the usual. Lie on your back, glutes. What I found is really interesting lately, I hated using these things for my calves. I could not stand up on my arms to do my calves because, of course, I'm a skinny runner. I don't have any really upper body strength, though I am going to Sturgeon Valley Club to try to fix that. Do a lot of deadlifts, squats, and bench presses. That's all I'm going to do. But and you can't see the foam roll. But can I get this in the picture? I don't know. Maybe if I do this, there. I'll try a different angle. There you go. See my ugly legs. And I could never do this. And now lately, maybe because I'm old, it's an age thing, right? But yeah, just working on the calves. You can do one leg, two legs. I like two legs for some reason. Same thing with hamstring, because hamstrings are connected to the lower back, right? And that's one thing I've always thought about too, is I've got really stiff quads. And the reason that I may have a sore back is what happens is the quads pull you forward, strain on your lower back, right? So working on that, doing a lot of stretches for my quads. Again, I'm going to see a massage therapist. Yeah, I'm not going to Redondo Beach, but I'd like to. But yeah, and then just doing good old quads. Easy. IT bands too, right? Don't forget your IT bands. Notice that you can't really stretch your IT bands because it's like if you've seen a baleen whale, think of the baleen whale's teeth. That's what your IT band is like. But there's connections at both ends, which is why you do the foam rolling at both ends. But even quads are fun, actually, right? Gotta love doing these. But yeah, and so lots of stretching in my future, foam rolling in my future. Ah, hopefully running. I'm gonna give it a shot again this week, and I'll quit when I get to the point where my heels say no. I'll stop because one thing I noticed after Sunday was, um, yeah, I felt it afterwards. It's the first time ever. Usually, I just take my shoes and socks off. I'm fine, but I found for maybe a few hours, not even an hour, so I was walking after the race. Um, but Edmonton was a blast this year too. I'm gonna say that. A lot of people call Edmonton ugly, right? Downtown. And it's actually not looking too bad. There's lots of construction. Yes, I get that. A lot of older buildings, but it was actually neat. And the best thing about the Edmonton Marathon, hopefully they bring it back next year, the dragon boat races afterwards. For Saturday and Sunday, I guess Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, are dragon boat races down the river. I don't know how many people went down to watch after the race, but it was great. Food trucks, beer garden, and people on dragon boats. On a sunny day, can't beat that. And running up and down the stairs by the funicular. Maybe I shouldn't have done that, but it was fun. But yeah, so foam roll, work on that lower back. That's my future. Anyhow, so that's it for today. Who knows? I may do something again on Monday night. Anyhow, have a good weekend.